Listen to this comment from an audience member on Reforge's stream.
Street Shadow says, I'm PC and Pro, but 95% on Pro since having a kid, now 5 months old, because it's easier to play a game with him while doing a contact nap. That's right.
Interesting, because last I checked, wireless exists on PC and even phones. Anyways, listen to this other comment.
Lono, I believe a massive influence on PC shifting to console is the price of GPUs in the mid to high range. If prices drop, it'll slow down.
Now, what's interesting, though, is this talk about people shifting to PlayStation because of high prices of GPUs is a claim that the PlayStation aficionado can't really make, seeing as some from their camp actually did try to put down PC players as those who use low-end specs. So if they're the ones who use low-end specs because the PS5 came out and we told them it was a scam and it got them feeling a little burnt and hurt, then why would these PC players who are low-end spec gamers want to have anything to do with the high-end spec? In fact, even on the high-end spec, it's a very small percentage of users that actually game with some of the most powerful hardware. And the PS5 Pro is not even in that category. Another really interesting thing is the majority of the games that are actually put out here on Steam, even some of the more recent ones like Assassin's Creed Shadows, is requiring hardware and its minimum spec like the GTX 1070 and the RTX 3060 Ti, or perhaps the 6700 XT as its recommended requirements. So it should not be surprising that the low-spec hardware people would upgrade to low-spec hardware after a few years. So it doesn't make any sense when they try to make this comparison, if you get what I mean. Now, Reforge responds, and this is why I've said that I would be remiss to not recommend, once again, a producer for his show to help him to correct these kinds of notions and point out that in the past, PlayStation fans have argued themselves into a hole that they're about to step into. Now, here is Reforge's response.
I don't disagree with you, Hadigan. I really don't. It's been a bit of a perfect storm. I mean, track the perfect storm with me as the clouds have kind of formed to make this happen. The Pro drops and the PC-centric YouTubers seethe, mauled, scream, yell, and obfuscate about the price. They completely mislead the public about the price. They don't do any fair measurements, any fair breakdowns. The only one who was even close that I saw was Linus, and even he was like, we had to cut corners.
So you watched Linus's video, but I'm not saying that you should have watched mine, but when I watched Linus's video, I also laughed. Because I was like, what is he doing? Because Linus stepped over a lot of things to make his way to his conclusions, and I was like, I can't believe that this is Linux that a lot of people watched back in the day, but thank God that he's not the authority on PC gaming, else we all be screwed. Because I made a PC build for $650 that if it stood side by side with the PS5 Pro, they will run and go crazy. At worst, it will beat the PlayStation 5 in terms of performance. He used a 6750 XT GPU, one which is slightly better than the 6700 XT, which is claimed to be inside of the PlayStation 5, or something akin to it. Yes, because the 6750 XT was a $300 GPU, still is, but now the scalpers are asking $800. But no one is going to go ahead and do that because you can already see that that's insane. $800 was what the 4080 was selling in the used market before these new launches, which anybody who's been on PC knows that this is how the market usually plays. People want to take advantage of the new launches. Scalpers come in, people who have old stock want to gain a little bit of extra so that they can save up to buy the new GPU, and the market does this, and then stock comes in place, everything levels out, and then all the people using 3060s apparently move to 4060s. This happened in 2020 with the COVID situation. This happened back in 2016 with the crypto mining situation with RAMs and all that stuff, and it's still going to keep happening. It happens every time. It's just a cycle. But the way this sounds, you think that, oh, this is some perfect storm.
Okay, so they do all that. They planted a really, really good seed bed for right now.
What happened was we had people like D-Batch. We had people like some PlayStation fanboys who made claims, and including Digital Foundry, who actually propagated that you could actually get a 4070 downclock level of performance from the PlayStation 5 Pro. And so a lot of people on the PC side came out and said that is absolute horse dung. And even Richard Ledbetter and the folk out there at Digital Foundry eventually backed out of that claim with many videos that they did, and majority of their conclusions came out to be that the PS5 Pro is not going to save you if the game is demanding things like more CPU, or in some cases PSSR is not even well implemented, and all of the different issues back and forth. In fact, you, Reforged, saying that they were coping, seeding, and molding, refused to talk about the fact that even PlayStation's chief engineer, Mark Cerny, had to come out and pour cold water on the false claims that were made about the PlayStation 5 Pro's hardware, where even the chief engineer clowned them and created a nickname for their full science called Flopflation. Bro even put it on a presentation slide of work that he was giving to other engineers, because I'm sure those other engineers were thinking, did PlayStation just make a $1,500 device and put it in a $700 console? But I'm sure you probably somehow have conveniently not remembered that this probably were part of the things that got people to start talking about the PS5. Thankfully, there were people who listened to them, but some did not listen. They bought the PS5 Pro, and they've been talking about mixed experiences overall.
And Von Raz,
so he keeps going.
They planted a really, really great seed bed right now, because you got PC loyalists and PC gamers all riled up about how the Pro is a scam and
we're
was
not
a joke.
riled up. We're pointing out a matter of fact that those on the PlayStation side tried to fake the performance and the hardware capability of the PlayStation 5 Pro, that even the chief engineer of PlayStation had to come out and debunk those claims about 33 teraflops, dubbing it Flopflation. That's what you should be saying here. No one was attacking your measly PS5 Pro. Get the heck that nonsense out of here. Like, who would want to bother? But people were misled to go ahead and jump out to spend 700, even 1,000 on the 30th edition anniversary version of this thing, only for it to be upscaling 30 FPS games and a poor implementation of PSSR that eventually is now making its way to emulate what FSR 4 is going to do in the future someday. Hardware always attracts scrutiny, be it the 5090, the 5080, the 9070, whoever you are. You make hardware that is not providing value, you get dragged. This is the rule.
And then what happens? You walk into 2025, GPU prices and promise of GPU performance gets into like a really weird
This is not
place.
something that has not been seen even before the Pro came out. Please, let's move on.
And then AC Shadows drops and looks ridiculous and mind-blowing and really good on the Pro, and people are like, what? I thought that thing was a scam.
Homie, AC Shadows dropped on the Pro and people decided to lose their minds on PC to then go ahead and leave their Ubisoft libraries to buy a console to play it? Perhaps Reforge is not aware that Ubisoft created an ecosystem for itself where majority of its players have already gathered games across their Ubisoft library and even on Steam. Yeah. This is a leap that I've never seen before. This is even oh my gosh, this is my second Ubisoft account that I'm showing y'all.
I thought that thing was a joke. I'm looking at GPU prices and I'm looking at the Pro and I'm thinking, this is kind of an easy decision all of a sudden.
Bro,
like
AMD launched the 9070 XT at $650, $599. You pay too much for that GPU, you pay $800. You pay kind of a little more for that GPU, you pay $750. It's sold out. If anybody decided that they were going to go buy a PS5 Pro in a market like that, then they're probably not aware, or they probably have a special circumstance that they wanted to achieve. But that's not anything to mean, without any data anyways, that so-called PC players are running to go buy PlayStation 5 Pros, where we have data of the Steam hardware survey flipping within a number of months to higher upgraded hardware. You have no data for this. You can talk around all the circles you want, sir. Sorry, but you and your audience, I don't know how you guys do this. You say something and then you start running around, and then when we're like, okay, provide us the data, there's nothing.
Little did they know all the blustering, screaming, seething, and malding that these guys did about the Pro back when it first came out. They laid a really, really good seed bed for it to look really nice.
The PS5 Pro, didn't the sales actually slow down? Hold on. Didn't the sales slow down? They fall behind the PS5 Pro. Okay, so despite a strong start, PS5 Pro sales are now trailing. So as we're hearing news about the new GPUs, somewhere, somehow, no one wants to buy the Pro anymore. Is he going to provide any data, though? That's what I keep wondering. I would wish that you would... Can somebody get this? Somebody if you watch Reforge, can you volunteer to produce for him, or at least help him throw some facts in there?
In early 2025, and they're not going to like that.
But we don't care what you're saying. The data is literally here. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can say all you want. You can say all you want. The Pro, we had data for it.
I don't care.
That's probably what it is.
Because it's true.
Because you said so. What's true?
It's true. You're seeing market response right now. You're seeing people
what
post
response?
Pictures. You're seeing
what
people
response?
saying like,
oh, my guy.
Enough is enough. I'm going to this. This is easy. This is an easy choice now. A third-party game looks this good. It's cheaper than upgrading.
No, it's not. I already basically destroyed that argument because, again, like I said, the so-called 4090 that you are seeing people upgrade to on the Steam hardware survey from the 3090 is MSRP is around $299. Many of them were able to catch a bunch of it during the holiday period, thereby flipping the 3060 on its head and pushing the 4060 Ti even closer, of which the 3060 Ti was actually up, seeing the 4070 move even to 5.3%, and the 3070 moving up to 4.18% in terms of NVIDIA, and looking at CPUs that can do up to 4K gaming, like the Ryzen 5 7500F, with AMD basically destroying, the mid-range tier in terms of CPU at about $150. This is actually too expensive for this CPU, by the way. It's like $120 on AliExpress. But if you don't want to do that, you can go to Newegg and you can get yourself one. I have one. I've shown you all its performance. So saying it's cheaper is without any merit nor data, and he just claims it like it's basically that. Wow, this is kind of dangerous, guys.
Adam
all right,
King
man.
with a whole...
We're done, man. I mean, this is enough. I mean, I could only do so much, bro. Oh. If you made it here with me, you're a champ. Thanks for watching the video. Peace out.